survive it out there? Can we make it somehow? I guess I thought that this would never end, and suddenly it's like we're women and men. Will the past be a shadow that will follow us round? Will these memories fade when I leave this town? I keep thinking that it's not goodbye. I keep on thinking it's our time to fly. As we go on, we remember all the times we had together. And as our lives change from whatever, we will still be friends forever. As we go on, we remember all the times we had together. And as our lives change from whatever, we will still be friends forever.
Good evening. My name is Elizabeth Pennington, and I would like to welcome you all to the graduation ceremony of the O'Connell College Preparatory High School class of 2019. At this time, I ask everyone to please remain standing for the presentation of colors by the Knights of Columbus Monsignor Kerwin Assembly of Galveston. I would now like to invite Noe Cortinez, the president of our National Honor Society, to come up and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing while Ms. Badger leads us in the national anthem. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous night o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the most bursting in air, came through the night, that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Thank you, Ms. Badger and Knights of Columbus. We are honored to welcome Father Judah Zuma to lead us in the invocation.
Congratulations to your students. There's a saying in Hebrew that wisdom is better than gold. And wisdom ultimately comes from God. Solomon would pray for godly wisdom. That's what we want to pray for all of you, especially as you go on to the next phase in your life. From the book of Sirach, chapter 6, verse 32 to 37, we read, "If you wish, you can be taught. If you apply yourself, you will be shrewd. If you are willing to listen, you will learn. If you give heed, you will be wise. Frequent the company of the elders. Whoever is wise, stay close to him or her. Be eager to hear every godly discourse. Let no wise saying escape you. If you see a man of prudence, seek him out. Let your feet wear away his doorsteps. Reflect on the precepts of the Lord. Let his commandments be your constant meditation. Then he will lighten your mind, and the wisdom you desire he will grant." Let us pray. Lord our God, in your wisdom and love, you surround us with the mysteries of the universe. In times long past, you sent us your prophets to teach us your laws and to bear witness to your undying love. You sent us your Son to teach us by word and example that true wisdom comes from you alone. Send your Spirit upon these our students as they graduate, and upon their teachers, their family members who are all here gathered, and fill all with your wisdom and blessings. Grant them that as they go on to the next phases in their lives, they may devote themselves to their studies and share what they have learned from others. And may you bless them abundantly so that they will become blessings to all they encounter. We'll make all this prayer in your name, our Heavenly Father and God. You will live and reign forever and ever. Amen.
Thank you, Father. Please be seated. At this time, I'm going to ask our National Honor Society representative to return to the podium and address the congregation.
Thank you guys all for doing so much to all of us that you've come out tonight and support the O'Connell graduating class of 2019. So I knew you guys were going to see me a lot tonight, so I tried to nudge them along to get Josie to present the slideshow part up here. It didn't really work, but we're going to watch the slideshow now, and I just want all of you to know that Josie was the one who put in all the hard work to make it possible tonight. So. Alright, so now we're going to watch some pretty embarrassing slideshows with some great pictures on there. So please enjoy.
I know this world seems so big, and everything seems so out of reach. The sky is high and the walk is wide. You just don't know what you've got yet. It's in the palm of your hands. It's right in front of where you stand. If you believe everything you dream will come true, and if you can love, no matter how you hurt, love will come to you, back to you. This world is yours. true. If you can see, there's nothing I can be too big for you. No, no. If you can see, if you can believe, if you can dream, this world is yours. Yeah, yeah. This world is yours.
Time has slipped away, and we're moving on. Choices to be made. We must go on. Another stage of life is coming. God only knows what we may be. We won't forget the friends and memories we've made. Though this chapter of our lives is almost through, Lord, please guide us as we go our separate ways. Let us shine for you. May we shine for you. There's no need to fear. Moving on. God is always near as we move on. And as we spread our wings and start to fly, the feeling's bittersweet, 'cause it hurts to say goodbye. Won't forget the friends and memories we've made. Though this chapter of our lives is almost through, Lord, please guide us as we go our separate ways. And let us shine for you. May we shine for you. And as we go out on our own, may this be our prayer. Jesus, speak through us. Jesus, shine through us everywhere. We won't forget the friends and memories we've made. Though this chapter of our lives is almost through, Lord, please guide us as we go our separate ways. Let us shine for you. May we shine for you.
Graduating class of 79 and is our current school board president to come to the podium to introduce our guest speaker.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. As mentioned before, my name is Wayne Gallier, the president of the board of O'Connell. I just want to start off by thanking each and every one of you for being here tonight. On behalf of the board, I want to do a personal congratulations to our graduates for all your hard work. Let's give them a round of applause. Whenever I'm given the opportunity, I always want to express a heartfelt thanks to our faculty, our administration, and staff. If it weren't for them, we wouldn't have such fine graduates like we do tonight. So let's give them all a round of applause. And it's my honor and pleasure to introduce our guest speaker, Mr. Dennis Bird Jr. He's a lifelong Galvestonian. He has his roots in Galveston. He chose to come back to Galveston and make a very good life for himself. He's an entrepreneur, and I know he has some very wise advice for our graduates. So please welcome Mr. Dennis Bird Jr.
So the last time I was somewhere and my palms were sweating, it was a bank and I was asking for a loan and I didn't get the loan. Tonight my palms are sweating. I think I'll figure it out. It's an honor to be here this evening. I'd like to thank Principal Abbott, the faculty, and the class of 2019 for inviting me to speak to you all. I'll try to keep it brief, but I'll also try to leave you with something that is meaningful and impactful. It's probably best to let you all know how I got here this evening. 6 weeks ago, I had a text message that says, "Hey, Dennis, I'd like to talk to you." And that generally means that someone wants a donation. And so I said, "Listen, we do pasta night at our house every Monday night. Friends and family are involved. Why don't you show up and tell me what it is that you need?" So he shows up and he says, "What are you doing May 29th? I said, "Why don't you tell me why you're asking?" And he says, "Well, it's our graduation, and we really want Tillman Fertitta to be the guest speaker, but we know he's going to turn us down. So are you free?" I said, "Sure." So Frank Fischera, I hope I don't let you down. So when I was preparing for tonight, I realized that I don't remember who the guest speaker was at my high school graduation or my college graduation. So, as I'm sure most of you have done throughout your high school career, I got on Google and I Googled commencement speeches. And I found which commencement speeches made me stay in front of the computer screen and listen to them. And so with that said, I hope I do a better job than those guest speakers at both my high school and my graduation at LSU this evening, and I'll leave you with something impactful. My mother and father were both graduates of O'Connell High School. My father was actually in the 1969 graduating class, which was the first class that Ursuline, Dominican, and Kerwin at the time came together under the O'Connell umbrella. So although I didn't attend this school, I have deep roots in this school through my mother and my father. In an effort to make this speech easier on me and rewarding for you all, I decided to tell a story. Ought to be easy. For me, it's my story. And it'll have 3 chapters: my childhood, my college, and my career. And I hope that you'll find a common theme through each one that upon its conclusion you can take with you after this and possibly lead in the same direction. My mother was a 5th grade teacher of nearly 40 years. She's still a substitute teacher. My father spent 20 years as a union forklift driver and 20 years as a worker for Galveston County, both of whom are here this evening. My mother's actually presenting an award to one of you all for a scholarship. My mother and father were hard workers. They went to work early. They came home late. At the age of 11, roughly the 4th grade more or less, my father lost that job as a union forklift driver. That August, when it was time to return to school, typical of any other school year, we would get a school supply list from the teacher, and then my mother and I would go to Kmart and we would buy that list of items. And then she would take me over to what was the Galvez Mall, which is now Home Depot, and we would buy a new pair of shoes. It didn't happen that year. I didn't question it, but I knew that something was different. That year was the beginning of what was the Air Jordan shoe era. And I really wanted that pair of Air Jordans. Couldn't get them. So I went to the florist near my house, and I asked her, Mrs. Micheletti, is there any work that I could do here to earn money? And she says, absolutely. She had a stack of buckets that were from the floor to the ceiling of her garage. And she says, I'll pay you 10 cents for each bucket that you wash. And so I began to wash buckets immediately. When I got home and I looked at the Converse shoes that I was wearing that day, they looked like they were tie-dye because they were covered in bleach. It was hard work. My hands smelled like bleach for days, but I earned enough money to buy those Air Jordans. In the 5th and 6th grade, I bought Sour Patch straws in bulk, and I sold them individually. From the 7th grade to my graduation year, I cut grass. Much harder work than the buckets and the candy, but the pay was better as well. I graduated high school in 1998. I know that I don't look it. It's my oily forehead keeps my skin good. Shortly after I graduated, the Spot restaurant was opening here on Seawall Boulevard. I had become good friends with the Dusich family, who were the founders and the developers of that property. And I asked them if they would allow me an opportunity to work there. They were very good to me. Allowed me to work as many hours as I wanted to work to earn money for college, and I wanted to work a lot of hours. I'll never forget the day that Marion Dusich walked up behind me as I was cleaning the table in the room. He gently put his hand on my shoulder. He asked the guests to stand up, and he says, I need to show this young man how to properly clean the table. If he doesn't know how to clean the salt and pepper shakers, he's not going to be able to pay his way through college. What he showed me that day was to always work hard, even when no one was looking. My senior year of high school, and that summer, I applied to LSU. I was denied 3 times because of my SAT scores. So I wrote a letter to the Dean of Admissions, and I got straight to the point. I wrote, I'll work harder than any of my peers, and I won't let you down. Shortly thereafter, I received my acceptance letter into LSU. My first semester was rough. Second wasn't that much better. I scheduled my classes on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I drove home so I could work at the Spot Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I never missed a class. I was never late to a class. I spent my time on campus studying. I worked hard at school, even when no one was watching. Many will tell you that the college will be the best years of your life. Between work and study in my first 2 years, I didn't experience that. However, something was about to change. I studied international trade and finance, Arabic as a foreign language. My professor, Coach Houghton, was a former Olympian and assistant track and field coach. He asked me one day if I would be interested in working on the track and field team. I told him, honestly, that I knew the job only paid $6.25 an hour, and most of the people that were applying for that job only wanted it so they could put it on their resume. Unfortunately, I was paying my way through college, and so I'd have to respectfully decline. A week later, Coach Houghton pulls me aside again. He tells me he wants to introduce me to the head track and field coach at LSU. LSU's track and field program at that time, and still to this day, is one of the most successful and dominant NCAA programs in collegiate history. There's no way that I was going to pass up an opportunity to meet the head coach of this prestigious program. He says, meet me on the track, 4 o'clock. Look for Coach Henry. He'd be a man out there in a yellow hat. So here I am at 3:50 on the track, and I'm looking for the man in the yellow hat. And what do you know? Every man and woman and child on that track that day were wearing a yellow hat. I ended up in Coach Henry's office, a very serious man and rather intimidating. And he asked me what I knew about track. And I answered honestly. I said, Coach, I don't know the first thing about track. I don't know about hard work. If you give me an opportunity to work for you, I'd like to go out there and work for you for 1 week. I'll come back in 1 week, I'll sit right back in this chair, and you can evaluate my performance. We agreed. He shook my hand. took the elevator downstairs and went straight to the track. The next week, I ensured that I arrived on that track before he arrived at his office. I ensured that I left that track after he left his office. And I knew when he arrived because his office overlooked the track. And it wouldn't be a coincidence that the only work that I found was outside. That way he could see what I was doing. A week later, and there I am in the same seat as I was a week before. And Coach Henry looks right at me. And I don't know what to expect. Well, you weren't kidding. You work hard. And I'd like to offer you a scholarship. I didn't know what that meant, and I didn't ask. I stood up and shook his hand and said, thank you, and I won't let you down. Walked out of that office and went straight to the track so I could prove my worth. When my tuition came due that semester, I got a bill for $0. When my books needed to be paid for, I got a bill for $0. They were both covered under my scholarship. The following semester, Coach Henry added a meal plan and a per diem, in addition to my tuition and books. And all of this was earned by simply working hard. Upon graduating, the Spot restaurant was available for lease. I asked the founders, Marin and Diane Dusick, if they would offer me and allow me the opportunity to take over this restaurant. They told me no 3 times. Sort of reminded me of the Dean of Admissions at LSU. They reluctantly said yes on the 4th time. I had $10,000 in my bank account from an interest-free student loan from Frost Bank. I only had to pay $35 a month while I was in school and $100 a month after graduation. I never forget signing the first check for my first month's rent, $88.25.49. I had roughly $1,100 left. Had I told the bank what I was doing with their money, I'd probably be in big trouble. At the time, that restaurant was losing $1,000 a day. The kitchen was a cluttered mess of equipment that didn't work. Almost every air conditioner was broken, and more than half of the menu board was covered with paper because the manager simply didn't want to order product. I worked the next 4.5 years without a day off. For 7 years, I lived above the restaurant in what was an office. I reinvested every dollar of profit to improve the product and the property to best serve our guests. As I grew that business, I missed weddings, funerals, holidays, lost relationships. It was a lot of hard work over a long period of time, but I don't regret it one bit. We have since taken the Spot from a small 100-seat restaurant that was losing $1,000 a day to a 600-seat dining and entertainment complex that serves upwards of 750,000 guests per year. We've opened a hotel, have a second hotel under construction, and by the end of the year, we'll employ nearly 400 people in this market. We're looking now at our growth plan over the next 10 years and how we can make it better than the last 10. Looking back on my life, I found one common denominator: hard work. I've got 3 young children at home, and I tell them every day, the harder you work, the luckier you get. I truly believe that. Class of 2019, you're moments away from graduating. I encourage you to work hard at everything that you do. Take it from me, an average person, an average student. The only thing I've done in my life is commit to working harder than any of my peers, and I hope that you commit to doing the same.
Thank you, Mr. Bird. Next, I'd like to ask Helen Haw to come up and give the salutatory address.
First off, I'd like to say thank you to Elizabeth Pennington. She's doing a really great job. Could you guys give her a round of applause? I was once in her situation last year. Anyways. Good evening, everyone. On behalf of my class, I'd like to welcome all 5 friends, family, and distinguished guests to the graduation of O'Connell College Preparatory's class of 2019. I had only found out that I needed to make a speech less than a week ago, so that was a great surprise to me. I can speak for myself that when I heard the news, I was immediately excited. Ever since my educational career started as a student, I have always strived to be the best and for approval and acknowledgement from my peers, teachers, and especially my parents. They pushed me to be the best I could be and have gotten me to where I am today. From 8th grade to freshman year, it was no different. So I kept working hard to make them proud. Sophomore and junior year passed by with minor bumps, but nothing that a girl like me couldn't handle. However, senior year seemed like a series of unfortunate events. I missed the first couple of days of school due to a senior project, which I worked on over the summer. Not that I'm complaining. It was an amazing experience being in Vietnam doing humanitarian work. October rolls around and I'm at a volleyball tournament. I had gone up to the net to hit the ball, and not only do I miss it, when I land, my left knee gives out below me, and I hear and feel a sequence of pops. My mind comes to the worst conclusions, and I am laying there in the middle of the court crying. I've torn my ACL. I'm still running on adrenaline, so the pain hasn't hit me quite yet, but the fear of what would be needed in the future settled in. After a string of doctor's appointments and second opinions, I had a hard decision to make, to get surgery or to not. Now to you guys, the obvious answer would be to have it, right? Well, it was nerve-wracking to think that I would have to get surgery somehow. To think that I would need surgery for my knee and to be hindered from going to classes was absurd, especially with my work ethic. I didn't want to miss classes and get behind. After long deliberation, my family decided it was a better choice, and so I had surgery in November, and for 2 whole months, I had to crutch my way into the multi-purpose room and sit there for the whole day to work on classwork. It was tough. I was missing discussions that were going on in class. Almost all my friends stuck with their friends for lunch. By the way, to you guys who did come to me and visit me, it really did make my day knowing that you guys had me in your thoughts. I still had dual credit classes at Galveston College, so to work around my knee, I had a wheelchair, and my mom would come get me from O'Connell, drive me over to Galveston College, and then wheel me to my classes. Now you guys see that I'm no itty-bitty skinny person, but that was an extremely strenuous task for her. So I'd like to take this moment to thank my mom for doing everything she could to mold me into the best version of myself, as well as always be there for me whenever I needed her. During this time, I struggled with classes immensely. I could not grasp the concepts of calculus that were being written on the board, and physics was on its own plane. Here's what was going through my mind. What do you do if your best isn't what you expected or isn't what you wanted? I was trying so hard to catch up and understand everything, but nothing made sense. Very suddenly, I started to cave and break down. I didn't know what I could do. I was falling behind, I didn't understand what I was supposed to understand, and soon my grades showed. I had dropped down to 3rd in my class. It was difficult to accept. I remember Mrs. Mulligan had to break the news to me, and I just felt numb. I didn't know what to do, my mind went blank, but almost suddenly filled with all of these questions. What happened? How could I let this happen? Could I have done anything to prevent this? But the question that haunted me the most was, what would my parents think? Sooner or later, I had to break the news to them so we could figure out what should be done to remedy the situation. Time passed, and I tried my best like I did freshman year. Calculus was still getting more and more stressful as the AP exams were drawing near. I cannot count how many times I had breakdowns in that class, but it was still fun, just the subject was a nightmare. With the stress, my escape was ice cream dates with Mary after early release. Those were some of the best times of my senior year. Why do I mention this, you ask? If there's anything I wanted you to take away from my speech, it is this. Remember to stop and smell the roses, to enjoy life, and not get caught up in the little things that won't matter later on. Cliche as it sounds, it really is. I I wish I had been more involved and gone out more with my friends, rather than being cooped up in my bed, worrying about the next deadline for a project, or about being able to wrap my brain around the concepts of calculus. When I first started to think about topics for my speech, I looked to YouTube. They were all amazingly inspirational and funny. I felt that I could never write like that, and asked for my friends for some topics. One mentioned talking about my 4 years, and I considered it, until I realized I didn't have anything interesting to talk about or mention. And that's when it hit me. I didn't have anything because I was too worried about grades and placements, numbers that will mean nothing to me late after tonight. I wished I had gone to at least one of the snake dances, bonfires, and treasure balls that were held each year. I wished I had took the chance to hang out with more people from my class. I'm learning so much about the people I've gone to school with for 4 years now that it kind of stinks. I'm starting to get to know them more when it's now time for us to part ways. Find a healthy balance between schoolwork and making memories and having fun. I'd like to first thank my classmates for helping me learn this lesson before I go off to college. Thank you for being a part of my journey and making it an interesting one, and one I will surely not forget. As Winnie the Pooh once said, how lucky I am to have something that makes saying goodbye so hard. I would also like to thank my teachers, the ones who are worried about not only my future, but also my current well-being. Thanks for the vitamin C, Miss Hogan. Thank you to my mom and dad once again for working long days and late nights to get me the best education I could have. Lastly, but not least, I'd like to thank everyone that has come today in support of the class of 2019. We have worked hard and really appreciate that you can celebrate with us this special milestone. Come on.
Good job, Helen. At this time, Ms. Lamb, our counselor, would like to award some of the scholarships earned by the class of 2019.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you so very much for coming out. This is a wonderful class of very hard-working students. I was going to say children, and men, with a very bright future. I wish I had time to tell you all about their personal stories, because every one of them have overcome obstacles and challenges and really dug deep to become the graduates of this year. I'm so proud of every one of them. I also want to thank Mr. Bird. We hadn't met before, but your speech was inspirational. That was amazing. Finally, I want to thank the parents and the faculty and Ms. Abbott and the board for trusting me to work with these students. I'm blessed every day. I've come to a job that I truly love and people that I honestly would do anything I can to help. And God has put me here for a reason. I'm so thankful. Thank you. Now the good times. You ready, guys? I feel like Santa Claus. We are still getting scholarships in. But at this time, and they'll still be coming in through June. Right now, our accepted scholarship total is around $600,000, but our total scholarship opportunities at this moment is just broke 1.1 million today. And I want you to look, that's not a big class. They've done an awesome job. So without any further delay, and I will tell you that some of these scholarships they don't know about. That's the fun part. I get to surprise them. We're going to start with Mr. Toby Session. He is the Senior Vice President at Moody Bank. He has always been a wonderful supporter of O'Connell. And I'm very thrilled that he's able to be here in person this year to present scholarships.
Good evening. I'm here to present the scholarships from the Russell Shern Moody Endowment Fund, which was created back in 1981 by the Moody Foundation. The endowment was created to provide awards annually to one male and one female graduating senior, each of whom has participated in at least 2 sports programs for at least 2 years. Recipients of these awards shall have exhibited exemplary traits of character such as leadership, high moral standards, determination, and courage, and shall have maintained a good scholastic record. The award is presented as a tribute to the former O'Connell student and graduate Russell Shern Moody, with the hope and desire that such traits of character and accomplishments will serve as an example to future students. The winners of the scholarship as selected by their school this year are Mr. Samuel Weisner, and also we have Ms. Mary Claire Blackburn. Thank you.
Okay, the next presenter is Ms. Karen Flowers. She is on the board of directors at Galveston College, and she is representing the Universal Access Endowed Scholarships, and we have quite a few.
Thank you. Good evening and congratulations on this special day, especially to these students and their parents who are behind them to make sure all this happened. As an alumni of O'Connell, yes, I graduated from O'Connell a long time ago, 1971, and just one little personal thing. Miss Abbott was my little girl when I was a senior in Treasure Vault. Okay, I'm the current chairman of the Board of Regents for Galveston College. I want to thank you for inviting me to speak. You're so lucky to call Galveston your home and to be graduating from such a fine school as O'Connell. No other city in Texas can quite live up to the generosity and foresight of so many of its citizens by offering opportunities for an education for children from infancy to high school. This is an important value of any civilized society. This same philanthropic philosophy exists in higher education in our city due to the creation, slightly more than 20 years ago, of an independent 501c3 organization known as Galveston College Foundation. I'm also a very proud member to serve on the current board of directors for Galveston College Foundation. The Universal Access Community Endowment Scholarship is only for Galveston graduating high school students and attending Galveston College. The scholarship funds tuition and fees with some additional aid for books unless the student qualifies for state or federal aid. It requires that you maintain your GPA and live in the college taxing district. You can please see a booklet that we provided to your counselor, Ms. Lamb. The foundation administers, manages, and invests in this private community endowment because of the consistent generosity of individuals in the Galveston community, area foundations, and local businesses. There are no tax dollars involved. It's there for you. It's your best opportunity to attain an affordable college education and/or transfer credits to any state university. Living on an island off the coast of Texas is lucky enough. But even better are the generous people who live here with you that realize how important an education is and are willing to put their money where their mouth is. The Galveston College Universal Access 21st Century Scholarship Program is available for up to 5 years after graduation for the class of 2019 through 2024. This opportunity is unique to a community where its citizens are paying it forward. At this time, we'll give the certificate.
First recipient is Gabriel Brin. Next is Marco Esquire. Mr. Charles Jones. Miss Helen Hall. Mr. Frank Freshera. Joseph Oral. Daniel Rayborn. Mr. Michael Sims. Mr. Haston Barretto. Mr. Bryce Vandermark. Mr. Desmond. And Mr. Samuel Eisner.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Long. The next presenter is Ms. Suzanne Crow. She is the founder and director of Christie's Wish Foundation.
Good evening, thank you. I am Suzanne Campy Crow. I'm also an alum of O'Connell, not as far back as Karen Flowers. I did graduate in 77, I'm still in the 70s. I'd like to congratulate all of you. Y'all look wonderful. I am so impressed with everything that you've done. $1.1 million, I think needs another round of applause. Christie's Wish Foundation was established after the death of my daughter, Christy Crow. And what we did was we wanted to come back to O'Connell and award a memorial award, not in my daughter's name, but in my mother's name. Lena Campy, if you did not know her, was a 7th grade English grammar teacher from the beginning when O'Connell opened in 1968 until her death in 1983. She, in those 15 years, stressed students the importance of developing strong writing skills. And my mom worked hard to give each child tools which she knew would serve them well in their school and professional careers. Each year, we ask the faculty and staff to come up with a name of a student who has shown growth in themselves and has become some type of a campus leader. And this year, I'm so proud to announce that the recipient for the Linda Campy Award is Michael Simmons. Thank you so much.
Just another surprise. Our next presenter is Miss Denise Bird, I'm sorry, the lovely mother of our keynote speaker today.
At the University of Texas in Austin, Dr. Annie Webb Blanton started an organization, the Delta Kappa Gamma Society International for Women Educators, and it's been my pleasure to be part of that organization. And it was basically to improve women educators in the field at that time, dealing with teacher preparation, fairness and recognition, professional development. And one way to do that was to provide scholarships for students who wanted to go down that path within the educational field. So I have the honor of presenting the Delta Kappa Gamma Society International Scholarship to Josephine Flores.
Thank you, Ms. Bird. The next presenter is another O'Connell alum and a recent graduate of Texas A&M Galveston with a degree in Maritime Administration, Mr. Gianni Rodriguez.
Thank you, Paul and Len, for welcoming me up here. First of all, I'd like to congratulate the class of 2019. Very good job. And for the record, I'd just like to say, what's better than an O'Connell College Preparatory School graduation, huh? This brings back a lot of memories, except I was sitting in one of those front seats up there, and y'all made the great transition to sit them up here. That looks great. It looks great, and they've even improved the staircase. That's wonderful. But in all seriousness, it's wonderful to be here. It's a pleasure to be here to present the scholarships for the Levy Foundation. And before I continue, I'd like to say, Helen, if that isn't a story of dedication and hard work, I don't know what is. That's got to be one of the best speeches I've heard in my life. One of the most wonderful life stories that I think we can all take an example from. That being said, I'd like to think that the Levy Foundation is all about hard work and dedication and determination and integrity. So without further ado, congratulations, Gabriel Brennan. Marco Escuela. And Reese Holquist. Well, geez, it seems that there is another one for Marco Escuela. Congratulations once again, good luck, and give it.
hard act to follow. Thank you so much.
Marco!
Okay, our next presenter is Miss Jessie Ann Bradshaw. She is the president of the Galveston chapter of the Lions Club. Well, I get the honor of presenting the scholarship hymn. This is another one of the surprises. Okay, this is the Lions Club of Galveston scholarship for $500 to Miss Josie Flores. Okay, the next presenter, I've got to say first, this organization that I'm bringing up now, Mr. Poole from the Noon Optimist Club, we are so blessed. All of Galveston is blessed to have the Optimist organization here. The merits and the creed and the motto they go by is truly what we should all live by, to find the positive in life and in each other. So Mr. Poole, if you have a moment, come on up. He's the past president and the current director of the Galveston chapter of the Noon Optimist Club.
Thank you very much. Proud to be here. The Noon Optimist Club, in coordination with the Texas Youth Texan and Texan Scholarship Program, is presenting a $500 scholarship. And before I give out the name of the lucky recipient, who by virtue of the items listed in a resume presented or submitted, won the scholarship. The words of the class are, school is hard, life is harder. In the words of the Special Air Service, SAS of World War II, whose motto was, he who dares wins. I'd like to give this to Helen Hall. Thank you very much.
The next scholarship presenters are the Sinceri family, Miss Andrea and Carolyn Sinceri. They're to present a scholarship.
Good evening. Thanks for allowing my family to present scholarships on behalf of my brother Peter. Peter was a sophomore at Ball High in 1986 when he was killed in a freak car accident on his way to a friend's birthday party. He attended O'Connell his freshman year and played baseball and tennis. In the years that he's been gone, we've been able to celebrate his short life and honor his memory by providing scholarship monies to deserving graduating seniors. My parents' hope was to provide all their children with a higher education, and in Peter's memory, establish the scholarship. What is unique about this particular scholarship is that it is renewable. We've had many students seek additional funds from us, and they've been able, lost my place, and if they were able to maintain their grades. We awarded 10 renewals this year, and some of them were receiving money for the 4th time. And whatever the ranking or deliberations are amongst our group, my mother always has the deciding vote. This year's recipient from O'Connell is Gabriel Brennan.
Thank you so very much. The next presenter is an older brother of a student here at O'Connell. His name is Justin Padawan. He is a recent graduate of the University of Dallas, and he is here to present the President's Award.
Hello everyone, class of 2019 again, congratulations. It's not an easy feat. I'm a recent graduate from the University of Dallas. incredible scholarship. It's a very prestigious scholarship at the University of Dallas. The scholarship is $120,000, and it is going to Mary Claire Baldwin.
Good news. The next presenter is Mr. Greg Sanford. He is the president of the Kiwanis Club of Galveston.
Thank you for letting me present these scholarships tonight. And this year, the Kiwanis Club will celebrate our 99th anniversary of serving the citizens of Galveston. I also want to take a moment to congratulate the class of 2019. Now, actually, we share an anniversary day together. I graduated on May 29th, but there was sort of a few small differences. The first one, it was at that school on 41st and Avenue O. And the other difference, it was 44 years ago. So, congratulations to the class of 2019. Kiwanis will get out 2 scholarships tonight. The first one is to Raimundo Santos. Is one of my former Moody Methodist Church Volleyball League players, Helen Hahn. Thank you very much.
The next presenter is another person who has been inspirational in supporting O'Connell and education throughout the island. Ms. Lillian Alaman, President of LULAC Council 151.
LULAC Council 151 was chartered in 1946, and one of our proudest accomplishments is that we've been able to award scholarships to worthy students for the past 73 years. Funds from the LULAC scholarships are made possible through our matching funds partnership with the LULAC National Scholarship Fund in Washington, D.C. In addition, we award LULAC Council 151 scholarships with funds raised through local fundraising efforts, and such as our annual Cinco de Mayo festival. And we also receive funds from donors from memorial scholarships. We're proud to announce that we have 3 recipients tonight. Nora Cortinas, and Marco Esqueda. And Josephine Flores. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Ellen. The next presenter is an O'Connell alum. He is also Texas A&M College Station alum, and we're honored to have him as our athletic director, Mr. Derek Martin.
Good evening, everyone. First off, class of 2019, young men and women, congratulations again. It's been a pleasure for me getting to know you guys over these last 2 years that I've been back, and best of luck to all of you. Have a couple of scholarships that I'm presenting here today. First is the Houston, Texas Association of Sports Officials Scholarship, which is presented by the chapter of officials that covers the greater Houston area football games for all high schools. And the scholarship is in the amount of $1,000, and that's going to Miss Helen Ha. Next scholarship, first off, is Miss Evelyn Gully here for the Galveston Council of Greeks. Okay, well, as a member of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated, who is a member organization of the Galveston County of Greeks, it gives me pleasure to present this scholarship from the Galveston Council of Greeks in the amount of $500 to Mr. Charles Jones. And the final scholarship that I'll be presenting as a proud member of the Fighting Texas Aggie class of '95, amount of $14,000. That is going to Mr. Noah Cortines. Thank you.
Now it is my honor to present the next person to come up. She is a role model to me, a mentor. Honestly, one of the most generous, most kind-hearted people I've ever met. She's a little ball of dynamite. She works hard and she's positive even when you don't see a way. She figures it out. Miss Cinda Mulligan.
I have helped with these students this year as their college prep advisor, and I can tell you that they are all prepared. Yes, they're all prepared, and they are ready to take on the world, and I've been fortunate enough to work with them every day. Today I'm here on behalf of the Mary Cecil and the Mary Cecile Chambers Scholarship. And for those of you that don't know about this scholarship, Mary Cecile Chambers was a lovely woman that lived here in Galveston. She moved here in 1905. And she chose that she wanted to make sure that young men could get an education. And from that time, I was looking at today to see what were the qualities that she really wanted. And she wanted to seek those who, to be able to obtain an education and vocational training, as well as better enable them to develop their skills and prepare them for their future gainful employment. She wanted them to be based on good character, industrious qualities, a desire to work and learn, scholastic achievement, test scores, and community involvement. And finally, it was her earnest and hope and desire the young men benefit from the scholarship fund and be willing to work to do for others what has been done for them, so that the work of this fund may be carried on and enlarged. And I can think of no one that could do this more justice or be more proud, that she would be more proud that we received this scholarship than Noah Cortines. This year is for $20,000 and it will be presenter is an O'Connell alum. This is her first year as an alum. She is also attending Texas A&M Galveston. She was the recipient of this scholarship last year. It was presented to her by another O'Connell alum from the year before who was a recipient who was going to Texas Tech. So we're paying this forward, and I think Ms. Janka would be very proud that it is O'Connell represented through and through. So Ms. Shamara Villarreal.
I know everyone's doing this today, but congratulate all of you fellow graduates. So, and the purpose of this scholarship, the purpose of the scholarship is to perpetuate the memory and the spirit of Miss Rosemarie Jenka. So Miss Jenka was a straight A student and a talented pianist. After she graduated as valedictorian of the class of 1961 of Ursuline Academy, she attended Our Lady of the Lake College in San Antonio. She graduated magna cum laude and was also recognized on the Who's Who list during her college years. After graduation, she returned to Galveston and taught at Weiss Junior High School before receiving a National Science Foundation scholarship for graduate work at Penn State University, where she received her master's degree in mathematics. Upon returning to Galveston, she joined the faculty and staff of O'Connell High School. Her sudden death on October 8, 1976, saddened the entire Galveston community. She is remembered as a leader who was committed and worked diligently for her family, her friends, school, church, and community. She actively practiced her Catholic faith and was a model of unwavering ethical and moral behavior. In particular, she loved working with children and students of all ages, sizes, shapes, colors, and beliefs. She worked tirelessly to develop the math department when she joined the O'Connell teaching staff. Mathematics was her talent, but it served as a means of communication with her students. As an enthusiastic scholar and teacher, her dedication to the academic advancement of her students will be remembered by all she taught. Her memorial fund, through its executive committee, is propagating this spirit by awarding memorial scholarships in her memory. On behalf of Rosemarie Jenka, her scholarship fund, and its executive committee, it gives me a great deal of pleasure to announce that the winner of the 2019 Rosemarie Jenka Scholarship in the amount of $2,500 is Helen Hall.
The next presenter is an O'Connell coach and teacher, as well as an alumnus of Sam Houston State University, with Coach Sanchez.
I'm a regular speaker, as you can tell. This is for my guys. Fifth period, seventh period is not going to be the same without you guys. So I'm going to miss you. I know that you're going to be successful. From all the money you're winning, y'all lend me some of it, because I sure All right, this certificate of scholarship goes to a pretty special person in my life. One of my students, and she will be going to my alma mater, which I'm very proud of, and Ms. Land's alma mater, her husband's, good old Sam Houston State University, go Cats. This is hard for me to give it to her because I'm going to miss her. She was very important to me every day. This award from Sam Houston State University goes to Ms. Mallory Priest.
The next presenter is someone I know pretty well. He is the treasurer of Harmony Lodge number 6 of Galveston, Texas, Mr. Steve Williams.
Good evening, and as everybody else has already said, congratulations, you're a great class. The cultivated mind is the guardian genius of democracy, and while guided and controlled by virtue, the noblest attribute of man. It is the only dictator that freemen acknowledge and the only security that freemen desire. These are the words of Mirabeau Bonaparte Lamar, the father of Texas education, second president of the Republic of Texas, and a member of Harmony Lodge No. 6. Harmony Lodge No. 6 was chartered in January 1840 and has been in operation continuously since then. So we're fast approaching our 180th anniversary here on Galveston Island. And it's always been a strong supporter of Texas education. In order to honor our brother's devotion to education, in 1988, under the leadership of Graham Childress, Grand Master of the Grand Lodge of Texas, Ancient, Free, and Accepted Masons, the Lamar Award of Excellence for Personal Achievement was created. This award is to honor any deserving young person for outstanding achievement, whether it's academic work, overcoming a handicap, citizenship, volunteer work in the community, sports, or any other outstanding accomplishment. Tonight, we continue that tradition by honoring two outstanding students with $1,000 scholarships each. Miss Josephine Flores and Mr. Ramondo Santos. Thank you.
Thank you. The next scholarship, we're very blessed. The Moody Foundation, as you know, supports so many areas of philanthropy throughout Galveston and the county. But every year they award scholarships of $4,000 for up to 4 years, so a total of $16,000 to deserving students on Galveston Island. O'Connell was honored with 7 such recipients this year. So I'm going to say these pretty quick because I know y'all are ready to go on to the fun stuff. Gabriel. Josie. Kyle. And Noah. These are our 2019 Moody Scholars. The next scholarships I have to present are to a young man who wasn't sure quite where he was going to go to school, but once he made up his mind, it's full steam ahead. These are scholarships to the University of the Incarnate Word in San Antonio. The first one is a distinguished scholarship for $32,000 over 4 years. And the second scholarship is for $8,000 over 4 years. Mr. Samuel Weiser, would you Next scholarship I have to present is from the Junior League of Galveston County to a lovely lady for $2,000, Miss Mary Claire Blackburn. The next scholarship I have to present is from Texas Tech Presidential Scholarship for a future educator who is going to do a phenomenal job, Miss Josie Flores. The state of Texas, we're very blessed to live in the state of Texas, honors the valedictorian of each school with the opportunity to have first year tuition paid for in the amount of $12,000. Our valedictorian has selected A&M, which Coach Barton says is the best school, starring Hogan's Noah Martinez. The last scholarships that I'm going to present tonight, understand there are still more scholarships, but I think we've taken enough of your time, is for a wonderful family tradition, the Caffarelli family. It started in San Antonio. They were immigrants. They were very hard workers, like Mr. Bird was talking about. They didn't have an education. They were immigrants in the 1900s, but they worked very, very hard. They saved their money and continued to build this trust that now they select young men every year. They also, like the Mary Cecile Chambers Scholarship, look for good qualities like strong character, good faith, leadership, moral fortitude, and the desire to grow and give back to the community. We're honored to have 2 young men who were selected this year. This is also a $20,000 scholarship for Noah and Marco. Thank you for indulging me and getting to play Santa a little early this year. I am so proud of this graduating class. I know there'll be even more opportunities ahead of them, and we'll continue to keep you updated. But before I leave, I just want to thank them one more time for all their hard work.
And now I would like to introduce our valedictorian, Noah Cortines.
Those of you who haven't heard yet, I'm Noah Cortines. Good evening. I'd first like to say 2 things. First, let me apologize if my voice sounds hoarse. I managed to catch a cold that literally only gave me a sore throat on Sunday. Because of course I did. And I can't think of any other way to cap off the year. So I'm hoping I can make it through this without losing my voice. Second, I will acknowledge I made one mistake as NHS president this year. I left Liz's name off the sign-up sheet in the beginning of the year, and now she thinks I always forget her. So to make it up for her, I want everyone to give her a big round of applause. I'm sure she would much rather be in the crowd with you all than up here on the stage with us. With it being graduation season, I'm sure you've all seen a kid on the news claiming their school censored their graduation speech or whatever. So I'm glad to say that I don't have that problem. Well, almost. Mrs. Lamb said no one could publicly expose anyone's grades this year. But, oh well. Mary Claire, I'm sorry you got a 100 on the calculus final. That was disappointing to us all. So I'd like to start my actual speech here by thanking my family. Mom and Dad, thank you for all the hard work that you've done. Thank you for always sending me to Catholic schools and always supporting me. You were the least stressful parents ever. I never felt any pressure to do well academically. Thank you for that. Now, on to my siblings and cousins. You guys are where the pressure came from. If you brought home an A- in this family, that made you the dunce. I know there's some families where only one kid is really smart and the others are just kind of average. I envy those families. I'm just glad I'm the second oldest and I only have one set of accomplishments to follow. I'd also like to thank my grandparents. You've all been a big support to me and went to every event to take lots of pictures. Which reminds me, to the row seated directly behind them, I'm truly sorry that you've had to watch the entire ceremony through an iPad screen. Or that crazy crazy lady with the red camera is blocking your view at yet another one of your child's events. You never had a chance. I'm sure they've been camping out here since yesterday. To the rest of my family, thank you for being here tonight and perpetually supporting me. I always have one of the biggest crowds at any events. Now, for those of you that don't know, our grammar teacher, Mrs. Stevens, has a saying she's fond of that I thought was appropriate for tonight. It basically states that God makes kids grow up into teenagers so that their parents will look forward to the day they leave home. If that's true, then O'Connell made our senior year so that we could look forward to graduating. We have been through so much together. Calculus, teachers freaking out over accreditation, calculus, senior projects, calculus, and applying to colleges and scholarships. Oh, and calculus. There was only like 4 of us in that class, but we went through enough pain for all of us. Shouting out to Mary Claire, Helen, and Kyle. If I looked like I was laughing through Helen's speech the whole time, that was only because I was laughing at all of the calculus stuff. Calculus was a nightmare. But despite all the difficulties, we have had plenty of good times too. Our O'Connell experience has been unique to say the least. One of the things that always kept O'Connell interesting was the teachers. The teachers here are something else. I can tell you that none of them could go back to teaching at public schools. That's for sure. With as many times that they've almost thrown a shoe at us or almost cursed us out, it's safe to say they're stuck with us. I think they generate more prayers than the Pope with as many times as they make the sign of the cross after someone says a stupid answer. And the teachers here are also so lax with sensitive information. It's nearly impossible to make it through a whole day without hearing about some new drama. Not some drama about the students or anything like that. It's always about the teachers. You can always hear which teachers were mad at the other ones for pushing for us to have yet another half day at the last moment. Or the ones who were always griping that someone was taking their class on another field trip. If you heard, "shut my door," or "that's the issue," you knew some major tea was about to be spilled. I mean, I enjoy hearing about some juicy gossip as the next person, but there are times I could only smile and nod along. I look like one of the cameramen from The Office who had to record all of the characters' interviews. I can say all of this because I'm their undisputed favorite, and come on, it's true. There was plenty of good memories from them too. Anytime you would go through the hallways, it would always sound like the hallways were alive with the sound of Adele and Taylor Swift. I don't know what they recently upgraded to Alexa, so I'm sure there will be plenty of hearing about the Beatles for the rest of y'all at O'Connell as they go through the rest of y'all's high school careers. But what really made O'Connell unique was us. Our time together goes beyond high school. You may think that we all met freshman year, but few of us actually did. While a few of us only joined in the past year or two, many of us have known each other since kindergarten. Holy Family, Jew Cross, Trinity, and Fatima are where we all first met. We may not have always stayed with each other all the way, but eventually we all found ourselves back at O'Connell. And I think that's the reason our experiences have been what they were. Our class has always had a tight bond. Sure, there are times we couldn't get along. Every single class meeting comes to mind. And there were times that we drove each other crazy. Every single theology period comes to mind there. And if you read our group chats or heard us in the hallways, you'd probably think we'd hate each other. But we know that none of that is serious. What we knew was that there was always someone else who was going through the same stuff as us. There was always somebody else to rant about a teacher with or get hyped up. And I think that's what made our class so special. And we made some crazy memories together. One day, Miss McKenna was absent and the school forgot to get us up. So we all went off to do our lab like good children with some milk and food dye, and Josie more or less put herself in charge. She hadn't left the room for more than 2 seconds when Marco spilled all the milk and food coloring everywhere. Josie came back to the room and saw nothing but green and blue footprints and yelled that she had only been gone for 2 minutes. Then, those of us who were in advanced math shared the special bond of learning math while being verbally abused. I don't think we laughed any harder than when we were called losers, being threatened to be shot for saying stupid answers, or just being flat out roasted. All in good jest, and that's not Miss Hogan. So, Miss Hogan, I know you don't like that. People thinking that she, but that was not she, Miss Hogan. Then there was the incident with the clock, which is all I'm going to say about that. Finally, one of my favorites was when Miss Hogan stopped. This one is about Miss Hogan. Miss Hogan stopped in the middle of teaching Algebra 2 to lead a prayer circle on election day because she was worried about the results. Now, I won't tell you if we made a difference or not. All I'll say that is we, and probably many of you that know her, know who we were praying for. In addition to those events, there's the many phrases and other things that defined our class. We turned Kyle's GC ID card picture into a meme that lasted for about 10 months. Hasten morphed Helen's name with a watermelon, and Watermelon and its many derivatives were born. Then there are phrases that will live in infamy for the rest of our lives. Those are carbon fiber glasses. I can't find the EE button. And girls like it hard. I'll give you a little bit of background on that one. Josie was giving Houston, I guess, an unpleasant massage in English class one day, a little bit too strong for his taste, and that's just what she blurted out. Yes, I'm committed to that. Our time in high school is now over. We served our 4-year sentence. Now, we're beginning a new chapter in our lives, and most of us have to do it completely alone. We will be hours away from home, multiple states away, some even as far as Lubbock. But despite however far away from home we go, or in Josie's case, from civilization, we will always have this I don't know why you're in this speech so much. Just not, I don't care. We will have it and each other to come back to always. I encourage my classmates to go off and make new memories and experiences. Go lead the life that you want to live. Go become the doctors, businessmen, teachers, and researchers you've all been dreaming about. We've been told our whole lives that we will do great things in the future. Well, the future is now. Be the greatness you're meant to be. Thank you.
Now for the moment we've all been waiting for. Judge Wayne Mallet and our principal, Miss Patty Abbott, will introduce the O'Connell graduating class of 2019 and present their diplomas.
The moment you've all been waiting for. You guys ready? Mary Claire Backburn. Gabriel Brennan. Noah Cortines. Trey Cotton.
Good job, Trey!
Marcus Culbertson. Marco Esqueda. Frank Teixeira. Josephine Flores. Helen Hawk. He's bribing me. He's telling me to say his favorite student, Reese Holtman. Charles Jones. Kyle Kennedy. Joseph Orell. Valerie Parise. Jared Prue. Daniel Rayborn. Raimundo Santos. Michael Simmons. Hasten Barretto. Bryce Nubicabay. Desmond Wheeler. And Samuel Weisner. Congratulations, guys, you did it! At this time, I'm going to invite Noah back for the turning of the task.
All right, tassel turning time, guys.
Stand up.
Stand up. I'll turn it. All right, let's turn the tassels on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.